Hello friends, good afternoon. Welcome to Chandu Biology classes. So this is a session on General Studies paper 1 and also General Ability. So we had started our discussion on Indian Polity. So till now we have completed 3 classes, right? So in the beginning class I told the strategy for general paper, that is for all the subjects based on 2023 paper. What is the weightage and all we discussed, and then I told the strategy for each of the subjects, be it polity, geography, history, economy, Telangana history, geography, current affairs, what are the things that should be done and what are the things that we will be doing it here. And then we started with the chapter of Constituent Assembly, that is when I talk about Indian polity, we first have to study Indian Constitution, right? So suppose like I give example that if you have to study any organ properly, first you should know the cell composition of that organ, right? Similarly, when you have to study Indian polity, you have to understand what is Indian Constitution, right? So we are doing Indian Constitution. So first we have to know who are the people who framed the Constitution. For that there is a body that is called Constituent Assembly, a group of people who assembled and formed a Constituent Assembly. So what are the features of the Constituent Assembly, everything we learnt, and also we also learnt that who are the people who are involved in Constituent Assembly and who are the people who gave the idea of Constituent Assembly, at the world level who gave, at the India level who gave, all these things we learnt, right? And also based on that we solved so many questions, right? And also we learned so many facts regarding Constituent Assembly. After that, which chapter we did? We did sources of the Indian Constitution, because after you assemble as a group of people to frame the Constitution, you should know, you should have some reference to make a Constitution for entire India, because India is a very diverse country. To ensure that there is unity and also to cater to the diverse needs of the people, we should have a Constitution which is very unique to India and also which is catering to every needs of the people. Okay, so we had to refer various constitution. That's why our constitution is also called one of the lengthiest and also bulkiest constitution. Okay, so we learned various sources, and the biggest source of the Indian Constitution is Government of India Act 1935. If that, apart from that, if in the options if you have people, the biggest source of the Indian Constitution is people. I gave a reference of Preamble. Okay, so today in this class we will be learning about Preamble. But when it comes to the sources, we started with Government of India Act 1935, then we learnt UK, okay, because we were already under the influence of or the rule of British. So definitely we had lot of features borrowed from the people who ruled us, that is the British Constitution, and also we borrowed lot of features from US Constitution. Then we learnt Irish, French, Canadian, South African, Weimar, Australia, Japanese, Russia, all these things. Okay, then all these things we learned, and in the previous class what did we do? We entered into the Constitution. In the Constitution is divided into parts and schedules. Okay, in the original Constitution, whenever I say original Constitution, I am referring about what is it? 26 January 1950. That is the original Constitution period I am talking about. Okay, so 26 January 1950, that is the Constitution became enforced. Okay, now at that time how many parts were there? The parts were 22 parts. As of now we have 25 parts. Okay, we learnt all the parts, that is part 1 to part 22. We learnt various mnemonic. Part 1 to 10, what is the mnemonic we use? That is, you can fly directly from US to UP to meet the child of Sachin. And also part 11 to 16, read from start to end for success. And part 17 to 22, what is the mnemonic we used? An elephant saw an ant and trampled it suddenly. Okay, after that we learnt schedules. Okay, schedules means there are, in the original Constitution there are 8 schedules, but as of now in the present Constitution we have 12 schedules. That means what? The additional 4 schedules were added through the constitutional amendment. Amendments means what? I told you repeatedly, amendment means you can add something or delete something or you modify something. Okay, so 9th schedule, 10th schedule, 11th schedule and 12th schedule were added through amendments. Okay, so when I talk about amendments, first schedule talks about list of states and its territories. Okay, second schedule talks about what? Allowances and salaries. And third schedule talks about oaths and affirmation. Fourth schedule talks about, when it comes to Rajya Sabha, allocation of seats to the Rajya Sabha. How many seats should be allocated to Telangana into Rajya Sabha? How many seats should be allocated to Andhra Pradesh to Rajya Sabha? For Tamil Nadu, how many seats? That is based on population. More the population, more the seats in Rajya Sabha for that particular state. Like that, we learnt fourth schedule. Fifth schedule talks about scheduled areas and tribal areas. Sixth schedule talks about tribal areas in only 4 states: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Seventh schedule talks about federal provisions, that is division of power between, I have told you in the which class, source of the constitution, federal scheme is borrowed from Government of India Act 1935. While talking about federal scheme, I told you there are three lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. Union list, only central government will make the law. State list, only state government. Concurrent list, both can make laws, but if there is an what? Deadlock between the central government and state government, or if there is a overlap, that time the central law will prevail over the state law. That is, the priority will be given to the central law. Okay, that is the thing we learnt. Next, what did we learn? That is 7th schedule. Okay, 8th schedule talks about official languages. Okay, official languages, as of now we have 22 languages, and English is not an official language. Please keep this in mind. And 9th schedule we spoke about land reforms. Okay, land reforms we spoke, and it came into being in First Amendment Act of 1952, and it was during the Prime Ministership of Jawaharlal Nehru. This is also very important. Next thing is 10th schedule we spoke about anti-defection law. Defection means what? Just because you are not satisfied with the party, you will jump into another party. There you are not satisfied, you will come here. Okay, you are not satisfied with this coaching, you will go to another coaching, then next coaching, another coaching, again you come back here, like that. That is the meaning of defection. So to stop that, why you have to stop that? That time it will create instability in the governance of the country or the state. That time people will suffer. Okay, I told you the phrase, that is Ayaram Gayaram, because there was people who started changing parties very frequently. Okay, so because of this, in 1985 an amendment was passed, that is 52nd Amendment Act, that is called anti-defection law, that was put under schedule 10th schedule it was put. And 11th schedule is panchayats. See, understand one thing, panchayats and municipalities were already there in the Indian constitution, but there was not a separate recognition by the constitution. Okay, so even before independence also we had panchayats, but constitutional recognition means that time the function definitely it has to be done. If it is mentioned in the constitution means you have to definitely do it, otherwise it may or may not do. Now, to make sure that the local governance at the village level, at the town level, it should be strong. If your roots are strong, then only the plant can grow well, correct? No? So to make the grassroots democracy stronger, they gave constitutional status to panchayats and municipalities through 73rd and 74th Amendment Act of 92 and 1992 and 1993. Okay, that is spoken in 11th and 12th schedule. 11th schedule talks about panchayats. It is having how many articles? Subjects 18. Municipalities 29. Okay, municipalities is 29. Got it? Clear? Now we will discuss about the preamble of the Indian Constitution. We will discuss the preamble of the Indian Constitution. So before going to the preamble, like always, see here, to those who are watching online. So Chandu Biology classes is offering TGPSC PGT course for biosciences, that is paper 3, that is the core paper is biosciences paper 3, paper 2 is of the B.Ed level, that will also be provided. Okay, and paper 1 general studies, the classes will also be provided, and the batch is starting from, new batch is starting from 1st August. Okay, the PGT course for TGPSC exam, this is a very good post. Okay, those who are watching online, if you are interested in cracking the exam, please do the classes with us, so that you prepare better way with confidence and clarity to crack the exam in the first go. So the date is, the date is 1st August. Remember this, and if you want to contact, you can contact on this number. Please contact on this number. Okay, and if you want to visit, you can visit the branch, that is in Narayanguda here in Hyderabad. Okay, next coming to our course, that is TGPSC JL and DL. Okay, in the last examination we got wonderful results when it comes to TGPSC JL and DL. Okay, out of the post that was released, majority of the post was taken by our students because of the quality of classes that was provided when it pertaining to core paper. We provided only the core paper at that time. We were not providing general paper on demand of the students. Okay, this time we are providing even the general paper. You can, as you can see. Okay, that is the class which is going on now. Okay, so including the general paper and the core paper, we are providing comprehensive coverage for TGPSC JL and DL. Okay, don't wait for the notification to come. When notification comes, okay, exam may happen immediately also or any time. You should be ready. So start the batch. We are starting a new batch, that is 1st August. Do join and start preparing. Okay, you should be confident enough to prepare and crack the exam. We don't know how many posts will be released. Even if it is released more or less, whatever, you should be in a position that one post is mine. Like that you have to prepare, be it core paper or general paper. You have to try to maximize your score in all these papers. Then only you can get a very good rank, and also you can decide which place to get the posting, all these things. These are all what they are gazetted posts. If you are not qualified set, you can still write JL. Those who are qualified set, you can write DL also. Both of it you can write. Okay. So this is a very lucrative post. Okay. This is a gazetted post. So please keep that in mind and start preparing. And for more details, you can contact on this number 861-830-1827 or visit our branch, that is this branch, that is Narayanguda, Hyderabad. This is about our courses. So like I told, today we will be starting with the topic of Preamble of the Indian Constitution. Today we will be talking about Preamble of the Indian Constitution. So as you can see, when I talk about Preamble, it is nothing but, see, any book is there, you think, any book is there. First of all, there will be preface to the book, correct? No? If you take your any reference book which you study, there will be something called preface to the book. By looking at the book, you will understand what is given in the book. Or any movie is there, before, this is a trend now, before the movie, they will release the trailer or teaser. By looking at the trailer, you will understand that what is to expect in the movie, correct? No? For example, recently Raja Saab trailer was released. By looking at that, we understood that is a movie which is ghost movie, correct? No? Horror movie. Like that, if you understand what is in the preamble, you will understand that what are the objectives of the constitution. The preamble, you can say that it is introduction to the constitution. It is called as what? Introduction to the constitution. Okay, introduction to the constitution. Introduction to the constitution, or also it is called as pretext. Pretext. Text is what? Text is the constitution. Pretext is preamble, or it is also called preface. Or it is also called preface to the Indian Constitution. Got it? So pretext or preface to the Indian Constitution. So when I talk about pretext or preface or introduction to the Indian Constitution, when you go through the preamble of the Constitution, you will understand that what was the thinking or what was the in the minds of the framers of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so you have to understand that. So you have to, if you have to understand how the question paper will come in your examination, first you have to go through the syllabus, first thing. Next thing is you have to go through the previous year paper, be it your CSR student or JL DL student or whatever exam you write. Okay, you have to go through the previous year paper, because based on that pattern, same type of questions or similar type of questions will come. Okay, difficulty level may increase or decrease, but you can understand what type of questions they are asking from each of the topic. Okay, that is nothing but what? It is a window to the minds of the examiner. It is a window to the people who are setting the question paper. Same way, introduction to the constitution, if you go through the constitution or if you go to the preamble per se, what will happen is you will understand the what was the thinking or the thought process or what was in the mind of the framers of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so you will understand what is the preamble containing. It is containing the objectives and values of the Indian Constitution. Objectives and values of the Indian Constitution. First of all, tell me, any one of you tell me, why do we need Constitution? Why do we need Constitution? Just keep telling me answer whatever you want, no problem. Why do we need Constitution? You have to tell me. Please tell. Why do we need Constitution? You have to participate. Otherwise, you will not get involved in the subject. Why do we need Constitution? Why do we need Constitution is my question. That is required. So you should know what you can do, what you cannot do. Correct? No. So that is why you need Constitution. You say, why do we need Constitution? Wealthy society, responsible society. You become wealthy so that you can buy chips and eat and sit. Okay. Responsible society is a good answer, very good answer. What you told right, that is also good answer. So to have a responsible society, we need online who are watching, please do respond in the comment section. Okay, why do we need Constitution is, we need a welfare state, we need a responsible society, we need well-being of the people. Okay, so for that, how the country should be governed. how the country should function, how the country should carry out its administration. There should be some set of rules and regulations. So without set of rules and regulation, you cannot keep doing whatever you want. There should be proper set of rules and regulation. So those set of rules and regulation is nothing but the constitution. Okay, but those set of rules and regulation cannot be like whatever you can want, make it as a rule. Okay, so for that, why do we need a constitution is there should be certain objectives that you want to achieve, like what you said, responsible society, like what you said, rights should be there. Okay, like what I said, welfare of the citizen should be there. That is nothing but what? Objectives. Those objectives to be achieved, that is contained in the preamble of the constitution. Those objectives to achieve, we should follow certain values. Okay, suppose there is always a debate called means versus end. Means versus end, you can see. Means versus ends. Okay, means is, suppose I have to go from here to hostel, you think. Okay, my hostel is my end. Means is the way I take. Okay, that is the process which I follow. From here to go to the hostel, okay, I can take any vehicle and I can go, I want to go fastly. I can hit anyone on the road, I can trouble anyone and go fastly and reach the destination. My end is to reach the hostel. Another thing is, although I might want to reach early, I want to reach fastly, but I have to go in a proper way, follow traffic signal. That is the meaning of what? Means. That is the meaning of what? Means. Another thing, if you take the example of biotechnology, okay, if you take the example of biotechnology, there is, suppose the population is growing, suppose we want to increase the food production. Increase the food production. Our end is what? Increase the food production. We want lot of quantity of food. Okay, it is not possible with the current soil quality or the current irrigation facility or current facility the farmers have. Okay, so for that what you will use? You will start using genetically modified crops. Okay, definitely you know that genetically modified crops will have lot of side effects also. Although the end is what? To increase the food production, you will start increasing genetically modified crops. Okay, that one thing is you are increasing the quantity, but the means followed is not good. The means followed is not good. That will lead to what? Health effects. Health effects, correct? No. So Gandhiji will always say you have to follow the means. When there is right means, right ends will come. Always, also he also says that end is very important. Okay, there is always a debate between means and ends. Okay, there is always a debate between means and ends. Suppose we see lot of harassment on women. Okay, some years ago there was an encounter on the people for harassing a woman. You must have seen that. Okay, so the means is to punish the people. The end is to punish the people, but the means, okay, but the means is, although the public say that okay, such people should be hanged in public, all these things, that emotional outburst happens, as per the law if you go, the means is what? You have to punish them. Okay, sorry, the end is what? You have to punish them, but the means is what? You have to go through the law. But seeing the public outrage, the police officers or whoever, whatever, okay, they may set up an encounter and kill them. Okay, that time they may get the applause, but in the long run what may happen is the people actually who might have not committed the crime may get killed. Okay, but when you go through the law, although it may take some time, okay, actual person who committed the crime will get to know. Okay, that is the meaning of going through the means. I just gave an example. I am not for this or not for that. I am telling you, just gave an example. That is the meaning of going through proper means. Okay, so that is the meaning of means versus ends. So that is why you should have proper values to attain these objectives. Objectives are what? These are ends. Values are means. Okay, objectives are ends. I want this kind of state. I want a responsible society. I want society which gives proper rights. Okay, but values should also be correct. Just because I want responsible society, I can't go and torture people. For example, you take example of China, or you can take example of North Korea. Okay, their economy is doing good, whatever, but people don't have rights. Okay, even if you laugh at the prime minister, you will be killed. Okay, there is a month on which the prime minister's father has passed away, and that month in that entire country nobody should smile or laugh. They all should go for mourning. That is the Kim Jong-un, that is his name. Okay, North Korea president. So there also objectives is there also constitution is there, but the values they don't follow. So that is why our constitution makers were very clear about the objectives also and the values that we should follow also to attain those objectives. That's why the preamble of the constitution is highly important. Got it? Without the preamble, you cannot understand the constitution. Okay. So let us start with the preamble. This is just a brief introduction I give. Okay. But means versus end I told you, because it is not just applicable for polity, in our real life also, normal life also. When we want to achieve something, it should be through proper means. Okay. Just because you want to chips, don't go to Ratnadip, steal and come. Ends is what? Eating chips. But proper means is go, take, pay and come. Just because nobody is watching, don't steal and come. Got it? That is the meaning of means, proper means. Okay. So next thing is, we will start with preamble. Like I told you, preamble is what? Introduction to the Indian Constitution. Preamble is what? Introduction to the Indian Constitution. The concept of preamble was first adopted in which constitution? It is US Constitution. Okay. The concept of preamble was first adopted in which constitution? If they ask, it is US Constitution. Got it? This was a modified version of the objective resolution. Okay, I will tell about this. So the preamble is an introduction to the constitution. The concept of preamble. Okay. You can put on the AC if you want. Preamble concept was first used or conceptualized by US Constitution. Okay, was first used by whom? US Constitution. So first of all, our Indian Constitution has preamble, but before preamble, see here, Indian Constitution, I'll write here, we have what? Something called preamble. But before this, there is something called objectives resolution. Objectives resolution. The word itself says objectives resolution, means there are objectives and resolution. Resolution means every new year, January 1st, we make a resolution that we won't do this, we will do this. That is the meaning of resolution. Correct? No, we will make up our mind that we will do this, we will not do this. But after 2-3 days, again it will come back to the same. So objectives resolution means there are some objectives, and we are resolute that we will follow this, so that these objectives are achieved. So those objectives resolution, there was a set of objectives that was put forward by Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. The objective resolution was put forward by Jawaharlal Nehru on December 13, 1946. Understand one thing, December 9, 1946, first meeting of Constituent Assembly in Delhi. Okay. Temporary president was who? Sachidananda Sinha. Okay. Then December 11, second meeting 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he was the permanent president, and when it comes to vice president, it was H.C. Mukherjee. Now December 13, 1946, this person comes, Jawaharlal Nehru, and he put forward objectives resolution. So just because he put forward, they won't accept it immediately. They have to go through it, okay, and they went through it, and it was adopted by Constituent Assembly on January 22nd, 1947. Okay, this is very important. Okay, objective resolution was put forward by whom? Jawaharlal Nehru. There is a question. Objectives resolution was put forward by whom? It is Jawaharlal Nehru. When did he put forward? December 13, 1946. He put it forward. That is, I brought a book and gave to you. I am Jawaharlal Nehru thing. I gave to you. On which day I gave? December 13, 1946. You read that and said that this book is fine, and you adopted it on when? January 22nd, 1947. To read the book, it will take a time, lot of time. Objectives means lot of objectives for the Indian Constitution. Okay, they did not put it as objectives resolution. Of course, you will also give lot of inputs and feedbacks to the book. Correct? No, proofreading will happen. All these things will happen. Like that, lot of proofreading, lot of inputs, suggestions, modifications happened for the objective resolution, and then it was made what? Preamble. So the modified version of objective resolution is nothing but what? Preamble of the Constitution. Got it? So Jawaharlal Nehru comes on December 13, 1946. Constituent Assembly already framed. Okay, that is, I come and give the book. That is what? December 13, 1946. Okay, that is called as what? Objectives resolution. The book name is what? Objectives resolution. So you people go through it. That is, Constituent Assembly people, you go through it and you do some modification and some suggestions, some feedbacks, and finally you say that let us accept this book on January 22nd, 1947. You will accept this book, adopt this book, and through feedback, the book name got changed into what? Modified into, from objectives resolution to it got changed into what? Preamble. Understood clarity? You got the clarity? So this is what happened. So this is how preamble came into being on January 22nd, 1947. When it was adopted, they will ask. When it was adopted? January 22nd, 1947. Okay, this is the thing you have to remember. Next, before going to this, so far preamble has been amended only once in the year 1976 through 42nd amendment, but before that all of you read the preamble. Read the preamble here. I will just be back. Please read the preamble once or twice and read the words that are in different color. I will just be back. I hope I am audible to all of you. Go through in the YouTube, anyone of you, if I am audible or not, please check. Okay. I hope all of you went through the preamble. Did you read? Maybe it is not clear to most of you. Okay, fine. So what does it say? The Constitution of India, preamble, we the people of India. Okay, we the people of India. Kindly tell me whether I am audible to you people on the this thing. We the people of India. Am I audible? Okay, fine. Thank you. So we the people of India. We, see the word we. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved. See, resolved means what? I told you resolution. This is nothing but resolved. Solemnly, we have taken a resolution to constitute India into a that objective resolution. Here the objectives are there. Here we are taking the resolution. That is the meaning of having solemnly resolved. Okay, to constitute India, constituting to make India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Okay, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. This is the current preamble. As of now, what is the preamble? That I am reading. But in the original preamble, some of the words were not there. That was added through amendment. Okay, here each and every word is very important. Each and every word is very important. I told now what is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. So when I talk about preamble, I have to explain to you each and every word. That I will do. Then, and to secure to all its citizens, JLEF I told you. JLEF I told you while talking about sources of the Indian Constitution. What is that JLEF? And to secure to all its citizens, justice, social, economic and political. Your exam is what? Multiple choice question, so you need not worry. But if it is a descriptive exam, if you are writing justice, you should write it in this order itself: social, economic and political. When it is social justice, then only economic justice will come. If both are there, then only political will come. You cannot write first. Political you cannot write first. Okay, this order is very important. Okay, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Equality of status. Equality of status means among us there should be equality, and of opportunity. That is, everyone should be given equal opportunity. Okay, you are all JL DL students, that means you should be given equal opportunity to access the class or any material that is required for the exam. That is the meaning of equal opportunity. Got it? Now, fraternity assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. Fraternity assuring the dignity of the individual, that is each individual dignity should be safeguarded and unity and integrity of the nation. At any cost, unity and integrity of the nation should be intact. That means it will be in proper order, nobody should disturb it. So, that is the meaning of this. In our Constituent Assembly, okay, in our Constituent Assembly, please read this line. Okay, this 26th day of November, 1949, do hereby what? Adopt, enact and give to ourselves. Ourselves means who? We the people. Okay. On this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. And give to ourselves this constitution. This is what the preamble says. Now, each of the words we will understand. Now, understand one thing, the last line is very important. This 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. That means what? The constitution contains what? The date on which the preamble was adopted and enacted, but it does not contain date of commencement of the constitution. What is the date of commencement of the constitution? What is the date of commencement or starting of the constitution is what? It is 26 January 1950. That is present here? No. It only contains, the preamble only contains the date on which the preamble was adopted and enacted, that is constitution was adopted and enacted. Okay, it is not about the preamble. The preamble only says that on this 26 November 1949, we adopt and enact the constitution. Adopt and also enact. That means we adopt and also enact. But did it commence the constitution? No. It does not speak about commencement of the constitution. So, please do not get confused. Let us move here. So, preamble has been amendment, these things let us discuss later. So, first let us go to each one of them. I want you to understand these words, then I will come back to that. Okay. So, first of all, if they ask a question, the preamble contains the date of commencement of the constitution, the answer is no, false. The preamble contains the date of enactment and adoption of the constitution. It does not contain date of commencement of the constitution. Commencement means, see, for example, we have adopted and enacted the course for JL and DL. Okay, but I am telling the commencement of the course is what? 1st August I am telling. Okay, same way what I am telling, I am talking only about adoption and enactment. Commencement has still not happened. Okay, that is not told by the preamble. So, please understand, preamble with respect to constitution, it is talking about what? It is saying that adoption and enactment. Adoption and enactment. But when it comes to commencement, it's a big no. It is not talking about commencement of the constitution. Why I am telling is, this has been asked in your groups, ABPSC and TGPSC groups examination, it has been asked. Suppose they want to pick up the question, the TGPSC can pick up the questions from the other examination it has been conducting. So, when we give the test for you, or when we give question answer format or MCQs when we give, we will pick up the questions from all those papers, so that you do not miss out on it, no need to worry for that. Okay, we will cover everything, but I am telling you why, because there has been a question that has been asked. The preamble contains the date of commencement of the constitution. No, it contains the date of adoption and also enactment of the constitution. So, please remember this. Now, when I read the preamble, I told that it declares India as what? Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Those are the objectives. What are the values? Justice, liberty, equality and fraternity, JLEF. So, the people of India are the source of the constitution. See here, the people of India, the components of the preamble. That is, now we are taking each line of the preamble and studying it. Okay, now we saw a paragraph. Now each one of the line we will decipher. Okay, we will segregate and learn each of these. So, we the people means what? The people of India are the source of the constitution. Okay, who is the authority of the constitution? It is people only. Which of the following is the authority of the constitution if they ask a question? People. Source of the constitution, it is people. The people of India are the source or authority of the constitution. Got it? Understood? So I told you while talking about the sources, people are the biggest source, or the preamble contains the source of the constitution, that is the people. So people of India are the source of the constitution. Clear? Now when I talk about preamble, the preamble declares India to be of sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. Now it is important for us to understand what is sovereign, okay, what is socialist, what is secular, what is democratic and what is republic. Okay. In general also we should understand, and what type of sovereign we are, everything with respect to India also we have to understand. So let us start with sovereign. Okay. And also preamble also specifies the objectives or values, whatever it is, that is justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. To remember this you can write it as JLEF. Correct? JLEF. This justice is borrowed from Russia. This is borrowed from France. Correct? No? Republic and also liberty, equality, fraternity is borrowed from France. Correct? No? So this is USSR or Russia, justice. Okay. So justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, these are the objectives. The date of adoption is mentioned in the preamble is 26 November. I told adoption and enactment is mentioned. Commencement is not mentioned. What is the date of adoption? That is November 26, 1949. Preamble is what? It is modified version of objectives resolution. Modified version of what? Objectives resolution. Objectives resolution is me, that is you consider me Jawaharlal Nehru. I brought it on December 13, 1946. You people discussed and modified it and made it preamble January 22nd, 1947. That's it. Good. Okay. But the concept of preamble was first used by whom? US Constitution. Got it? Now we have to understand the date of adoption is mentioned as November 26, 1949. Don't write it as January 26, 1950. It is November 26, 1949. And also one current affairs that you should know, November 26 every year now is been celebrated as Constitution Day. Okay. Constitution Day or Constituent Assembly Day or whatever, Constitution Day. If they ask which of the following is a Constitution Day, please don't write it as 26 January 1950 or August 15. Okay. It is not January 26, it is not August 15, it is November 26, not October 2nd also. Okay. It is what? It is November 26. November 26 is what? Constitution Day. Please remember. Okay. So current affairs is what? November 26 is Constitution Day. But for each such important days there will be themes also. Okay. For example, one earth, one nation, one health, like that. Okay. You must have learnt about one health concept in core paper or wherever you would have learnt about one health concept. Okay. Now when I talk about this one, November 26 is Constitution Day and the date November 26, 1949 is mentioned in the preamble and 26 January is not mentioned. Please remember. Now let us understand each of this one by one. The date on which the Constitution came into force. See, the preamble contains what? The date of adoption and enactment, and it does not contain commencement or the date on which the Constitution came into force. When it came into force? 26 January 1950. Okay. When it came into force? Okay, when it came into force, that is 26 January 1950, it is not containing that. It is not containing that. I have repeatedly told you, exclusively I have dedicated 5 to 8 minutes on this itself because question will come. Okay. If the question has to come from here also, it can come. So it contains only adoption and enactment, not enforcement or this thing, commencement. Got it? The preamble indicates the source from which the Constitution derives its authority. The preamble says what? Indicates the source from which the Constitution derives its authority. What is the authority of the Constitution? People. Good. So people are the source, or also people also the authority. So the preamble also states the objectives which the Constitution seeks to establish and promote. That is what I told in the beginning itself. Okay. The preamble helps us to understand what is the objectives of the Constitution, that it should be established. So first it will set it the targets. For example, if you are studying, every day you will set some target for yourself, and after that you will also make sure that you achieve that target. Similarly, the preamble also sets the objectives. It sets the objectives. Okay. And it also tries to achieve it. Who is setting the objective? Preamble only. It is only trying to achieve. Okay. That is also mentioned in preamble. Understood? What should be the objectives is also told by the preamble, and it will only try to achieve the objectives. How it should be achieved, that is also told by the preamble itself. Okay. That is the meaning of means. Setting the objective means what? It is the end. Setting the objective, setting the target, that is your end. Okay. Achieving that, that is the means. Understood? That's why I told about ends versus means in the beginning. Okay. Now let us go directly to what is sovereign. Sovereign means independent authority of a state. Independent authority of a state. In basic words, I will tell you what is sovereign. Okay. Suppose you are at home. Okay. You are eating Maggie or whatever. Some random person comes from outside and tells you, no, you should not eat Maggie, you should eat chocolate. Will you listen? Some people, if you give chocolate, they will eat, both they will eat. That is different thing. I am telling you should eat, you are eating Maggie. Some random person comes and tells, no, you should not eat Maggie. You don't know that person. You should eat chocolate. Will you eat? No. It is your house. You have the right to decide what you want. And it is your life. You have the right to decide what to eat and what not to eat. That is, you are independent about your decisions. But if someone is coming and telling you that you should eat this, that time you have to throw and eat, means that means you are not sovereign. Okay. So what is happening within your house? Okay, that should be the affairs of your house. That is, that should be the what? That should be the duty or decision taken within your house. Someone else should not come and involve. Okay, if someone is coming and enforcing their decision on you, that means you are not sovereign. Okay, for example, our institution, okay, we take decisions as per the needs of the students and growth of the institution. Okay, if some random person or some other institute comes and tries to enforce their rules and regulations on us, okay, that means what? If we follow them, that means we are not sovereign. But we won't follow because we have our rules and regulation, we have the freedom to make for our students. Correct? No? So that is the meaning of what? That is the meaning of being sovereign. Understood? That is the meaning of what? Being sovereign. Clear? Suppose you don't want AC, but still they come and put AC, that is the meaning of what? Not sovereign. Understood? So same way, when it comes to India, if you consider that as our home, of course it is our home, okay, what should happen in our country? What is the laws that should be made? What is the type of decision that should be taken for the welfare of the people? That should be decided by our people. Our people in the sense, we elect our representatives, they decide, and it will be enforced by our representatives and also executives. Correct? No? But someone from China or someone from Pakistan or be it any country coming and telling you do this, coming and telling don't do Operation Sindoor, that is not required. Okay, ignore Pahalgam attack. Will you follow? No, because we won't follow because we are sovereign country. Okay, theoretically we are sovereign country because, but one thing you must understand, practically we are influenced by many other countries and we are also influencing many other countries. That you will understand if you understand international relations, that is not required for you. Okay, when I say sovereignty, we are independent to take our decisions. Okay, so independent authority of a state, this is absolute and supreme power. That is, our India is absolute and supreme. Why this was necessary? Because we were coming out of the clutches of the British rule. Correct? No? At that time, we didn't want dominant status. We wanted complete independence. Correct? No? Purna Swaraj. When I talk about history, I will tell you about Purna Swaraj. Okay, why 26 January 1950 was chosen as the date for commencement of the constitution. All these things I will tell you when I talk about history. Okay, now sovereign means it is absolute and supreme power to decide what we want to do. Okay, nobody else should influence us. Of course, you can take suggestion but decision you take. Okay, decision we will take. That is the meaning of being sovereign. Understood in simple words what is sovereign? Okay, now this means that India has the power to legislate on any subject. For example, if you talk about legislature, we have the right to make laws on any subject we want. Okay, nobody can come and tell don't make laws on defense. We can make any kind of laws we want. Got it? Now, India is not subject to control of any external authority. That is what I told. That is, we are supreme and we can make laws for the development of our nation. India is not under the control of any external authority. That is, in your home, whatever decisions you take, it is up to you. You are not under the external control. Correct? No? You are not under any external control. Got it? So, this is the meaning of sovereignty. India is neither dependent nor dominion of any other nation, but an independent state. That means, we are not dependent on anyone or we are not a dominion of any nation. That is, we are not subordinate to anyone. Okay, we are not working for someone as per their needs. It's not like that. We are independently taking decisions for the development of our nation. So that is the meaning of sovereign. Understood? Okay, that is the meaning of it. So what you want to eat in your plate, that you decide. Don't get influenced by just because that person is telling you should not change the food what you want to eat. Okay, by force I am telling. Okay, suppose someone is suggesting for your good, that is up to you to follow or not. That's the meaning of sovereign. Okay, that is the meaning of sovereign. That means you have independently decide your this thing. Okay, this is the meaning of sovereignty. Next thing. Understood everyone? Sovereign. Republic. Republic means I told you, whenever before independence or before you can talk about 1800s, 1850s, before that and all, we had the rule of the kings, correct? No, we had the rule of the kings. Okay, here also Nizams were ruling in Hyderabad, all these things. Okay, even in Mysore the kings were ruling. Even though the king, symbolic king is also there in Mysore, that is different thing. But when we talk about them, suppose the king dies, okay, his son or anyone else in his family will inherit the throne. Okay, he will rule over that state. Okay, that is meaning of what? That is the meaning of monarchy, correct? No, monarchy means the king's rule. Again and again inheriting and they becoming the king. They can only rule, other people cannot rule. Okay, that means what? Automatically by virtue of being born in that family, the person is becoming the king. Okay, but republic means it is not the king's rule or anyone. The head of the state is the person who is elected. He is not inherited or selected or nominated. The head of the state is elected. Who is the head of the state? President. In India, president is elected or not? Elected. That is why we call it as republic. Where the head of the state is elected, such a country is called as what? Republic. We don't have any monarchical head. Although there are so many kingdoms or so many kings, some of the kings are there. Only we give them respect just because they were king's family, that's it. But even if they want to enter into parliament or whatever, even they should be elected. Just because they are by virtue of being a king, they are not allowed. Okay, so here that means what? Head of the state is elected. Okay, republic means what? Head of the state is elected. Got it? So this is the meaning of it. Head of the state is elected. This, please keep this in mind. When they ask about republic, head of the state is elected. That means our president is elected president. Draupadi Murmu. She is elected president, that ma'am, correct? No. Next thing is, what is a state? This is explained by constitution under article 12 and 36. Okay, this is explained by constitution under article 12 and 36. Okay, article 12 is in part 3. Okay, part 3 is talking about what? Fundamental rights. Okay, let me tell you about state now itself. Part 3 is talking about fundamental rights. So part 3 is talking about fundamental rights. So part 3 contains articles from 12 to 35. 12 to 35 is fundamental rights. Okay, 36 to 51 it is DPSP. It is DPSP. In article 12 it is talking about the state, what the state should contain, what the state it contains. Okay, state means what? As of now, state means you will think a geographical state like Odisha state, Jharkhand, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, like that. State means, okay, the state includes the government and parliament of India, the government and parliament of India, the government and legislature of each of the state, that is the government of Telangana, legislature, the secretariat of Telangana, the government and legislature of Andhra Pradesh, the government and legislature of Tamil Nadu, government and legislature of Karnataka, like that. Okay, and all local bodies or other authorities within the territory of India are under the control of the government of India. Okay, even local bodies, panchayats, municipalities, which are government institutions. Okay, even all other bodies which are under the control of government of India. Okay, any office here, if you see government office, which is under the control of government of India or government of Telangana, that office itself is called as a state. Okay, anything that represents government, that is a state. Suppose you set up an office here. Okay, suppose a Me Seva Kendra, in whatever it is, government office is set up, that is also a state. Okay, that is also a state. Understood? Suppose any panchayat office is set up, that is also a state. Suppose a panchayat development officer is there, he is also representing a state. Understood? So state has a wide explanation. Understood now? It is government and parliament of India, government of India and parliament of India, government of the states and legislature of the states, and all other local bodies which is representing the government. Understood? So the head of the state should be elected. Here the head of the state here refers to Indian state. It is elected. That is the meaning of republic. In article 36, unless context requires, the state has the same meaning as in part 3. Okay, article 12 and article 13 is talking same way when it comes to, unless there are other exceptions, it is saying that state is the same as the state that is present in article 12. Okay, Article 12 and 36 is talking about state. They can ask a question, which of the following articles talks about the state? That is Article 12 and 36. 12 and 36, 12 3s are 36. Remember like this, 12 and 36. Got it? 12 is in part 3, so 12 3s are 36. So 12 and 36. Okay, so let us proceed. I hope you understood what is republic now. Okay, India has elected president at the head for a fixed term of 5 years. When I talk about president, I will talk about the term of 5 years, how the president is elected, how he is removed, okay, how he can resign, who gives the vote to him. I told you the president can be impeached by violation of the constitution under Article 61. Article 61, okay, but violation of the constitution is not explained in the constitution. Okay, now I am telling you, India has an elected president at the head for a fixed term of 5 years. Fixed term of how many years? 5 years. Okay, that means what? Why I am telling this? Because India is an elected president means India is republic. India is what? Republic. Next, the president is elected indirectly through method of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. That is, what is the type of election that takes place to the president? I told you it is an indirect election. But what is the method? That method is called proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. No need to worry, when I talk about president, I will explain what is proportional representation, what is single transferable vote. Okay, single transferable vote, STV, proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. I will explain in detail along with pictures how the method of proportional representation by single transferable vote takes place. With perfect examples, I will tell you, no need to worry. Okay, what is the election that we do, where we go and vote? That is called first past post system. So first we go, that post is there, no? First past post system. That is, we vote and we go. First past post system. Got it? First past post system. What is the election will take place? There are two types. One is proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. That is indirect election. The direct election, where we go and vote for MLAs or MPs for Lok Sabha elections, that is called first past the post system. First past the post. TH da should come. First past the post system. Okay. When I talk about election, I will explain about this also, no problem. But single transferable vote, proportional representation is important, I will explain. When we do what? When we do president. Now it is not required. So, every citizen with qualifications mentioned in the constitution is eligible to contest in the election of the president. All offices including that of president will be open to all citizens. Okay. That means what? Every citizen. Suppose I am citizen of India. If I satisfy certain qualifications, I can also contest for the president post. What are the qualifications? First, I should have completed 35 years of age. Okay. Then first of all, I should be citizen of India. Then I should be eligible to be member of Lok Sabha. Okay. And I should not be holding office of profit. All these things I will explain when I talk about president. What is office of profit? What is the qualification to become member of Lok Sabha? All these things. First thing you must remember is completed 35 years of age. It is not 35 years. It is completed 35 years of age. 35 and above. Okay, 35 and above. Okay, 35 and above is the age. Completed 35 years of age. Understood? That is one thing you must remember. So, the president office will be open to all citizens. That is, unlike kingdom, monarchy, where people are restricted from entering into the kingdom. Not simply you cannot go inside. Okay, there are so many restrictions that are there when it comes to kingdom. But when it comes to president office, it is open to all. It is open to all means that doesn't mean that you can go inside and ask for pani puri or chips, okay, into president's office. That means it is open to all means you have to, you can send a mail, you can write a letter to president's office. That is the meaning of it. You directly they won't allow you inside. Okay, there is a lot of permission that has to take place because it's a president office. Lot of security will be there. Random people they will not allow. Okay, because he also may have some eatables. You may go and steal all those things. So that is why lot of security will be there. It is open to all means that is it is for the welfare of the citizens that the president's office is there. Okay, for governor the office is called as what? Raj Bhavan. For president it is called as what? Rashtrapati Bhavan. Okay, it is in Delhi. It is in New Delhi, the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Okay, the president's office is also called open to all people, especially when it comes to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, he was also called the people's president because he used to allow a lot of people to enter into the president's office and get to know how it functions, especially the students. he used to allow, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam used to allow the students to enter into the President Rashtrapati Bhavan and all and see how it functions, so that they also get inspired and participate in the governance of the country. Okay, governance of the country. Okay, so this is the meaning of republic. Clear? This is the meaning of republic. Now you should not forget what is republic, what is sovereign. Don't ask me again. You should know. Clarity should be there. Now, socialist. Socialist. Okay. Socialist, actually it was not there in the original constitution. Socialist was added through amendment. Socialist was added through amendment. So let us go back to that slide, because so I told you amendment means you are adding something or deleting something or modifying something. How many times preamble has been amended? Till now only once preamble has been amended. Okay, till now, till date. Out of 75 years of independence or more than that, preamble has been amended only once. During that once, what is the time? That is 42nd Amendment 1976. 42nd Amendment 1976 also called as what? Good, mini constitution. That time preamble also was amended. Mini constitution. This also called mini constitution. The 42nd Amendment added 3 words to the preamble, 3 new words to the preamble. Okay. So it is what we call it as what? Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. Okay. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. Okay. But here you have to understand that the word sovereign, socialist, secular, and also another one is integrity. Okay. These words were not there. These words were not there in the original constitution. In the original constitution, what it was called? Sovereign Democratic Republic. In the original constitution preamble, if you read that preamble, there is only sovereign democratic republic. It did not have socialist and secular, and also integrity was not there. Okay. But does that mean that India was not socialist? Does that mean that India was not secular? Does that mean there was no integrity? Of course it was there. It is implied that it was there. Okay. But they made it exclusive. Implicit means it is already hidden there, it is already being followed. Making explicit means that is it is being added. Okay. So while class is going on, it is implicit that you should not make a call or use your phone. I am telling us example, that is implicit rule, correct? No, any classroom. But sometimes when the necessity arises, because necessity is the mother of all inventions, like that, if some people, most of the people are using phone, means we will make it explicit that please don't use phones in class. Okay, please don't use phones in class. Or even in temples, it is not right to use phone and take pictures of the idols or our gods. That is what? That is implicitly understood. But still people do that. That's why they explicitly write it. Use of phone is prohibited, strictly prohibited, something like that. Same way, they made it exclusive. What? It is India is socialist and also secular. Okay, and also integrity. So this was added through what? 42nd Amendment of 1976. It is also called as what? Mini constitution. So that is what? Socialist, secular, and integrity. These are the words that were added. 3 words: socialist, secular, and integrity. SSI. Socialist, secular, and also integrity was added. Understood? So these are the words that were added. The preamble is amended how many times? 1 time. The question can be, the preamble has been amended how many times? 1 time. Which was that 42nd Amendment 1976. It is also called as what? Mini constitution. What were the words that were added? Socialist, secular, and integrity. Okay. So this is about it. The constitution derives authority from the people. Why we call it like that? Because it starts with what? We, the people. We, the people. So the constitution derives its authority from the people. Source is also people. Authority is also people. Got it? They can give options like president, prime minister, and all these things. The constitution derives authority from option A, president, B, prime minister, C, governor, D, people. It is people. Got it? So you may get confused. So please understand it is the people. Next, is preamble a part of the constitution? Okay. First of all, you have to understand the preamble was the last thing to be added to the constitution. Okay. The preamble was the last thing. Preamble was there, but it was the last thing that was to be added to the constitution. The constitution book I am telling. So they are asking, is preamble a part of the constitution? It is talking only about the objectives, just because it is having introduction, is it the part of the constitution? That was the question that was raised. So many times there was a question from this area. Is preamble a part of the constitution? As of now, you have to understand that yes, preamble is a part of the constitution. Okay. Is preamble a part of the constitution? Yes, it is a part of the constitution. Has preamble been amended? Yes, it is amended. How many times? One time. Is preamble a part of the constitution? Yes. But there was a lot of debate whether preamble is part of the constitution or not. That debate also is very important. The debate means there are Supreme Court cases which you have to remember. Some Supreme Court cases you have to remember. So in 1960, Berry case. Berry is an area. Berry is a small area, that land area. Okay, there was a dispute whether we should have that area or we should give to Pakistan. Okay, ultimately I think we gave it to Pakistan. The Berry case. So in the Berry case, the Supreme Court ruled that preamble is not a part of the constitution. So what the question they can ask? In which of the following case Supreme Court said that preamble is not a part of the constitution? It is Berry case. Okay, it is what? Berry case 1960. Okay, Berry case 1960. In this case, the Supreme Court ruled that preamble is not a part of the constitution. Next, in Keshavananda Bharatiya State of Kerala. This case I will keep on coming multiple times, even in fundamental rights, even in DPSP, fundamental duties, even when I talk about president, so many times I will talk about Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. Okay, Keshavananda Bharati, he was one priest, you can say. Okay, he was a priest of some mutt. Okay, in Kerala. Okay, ashram in Kerala. Okay, Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala in 1973. In this case, Supreme Court rejected its own order, rejected its earlier opinion and held that preamble is a part of the constitution. Okay, in Berry case, what it said? Not a part of the constitution. In Keshavananda Bharati case, I'll just use KBC. It is not Count Banaga Pardi, it is KBC, means Keshavananda Bharati case. In Keshavananda Bharati case, what did it say? It rejected the earlier opinion. It said preamble is part of the constitution. Further, it said that the court said that the constitution could not be amended so as to alter the basic elements. It also said that constitution, there is possibility that you can amend the constitution, change the constitution, that is fine. But certain things are very important. They are called basic features or basic structure. Those things you should not touch. Okay. For example, secularism is a basic structure. Okay. Parliamentary form of government, sovereignty, okay, unity and integrity, all these things are basic structure of the constitution. So when you amend the constitution, it should not affect these features. These features, they are sacred. Okay, don't touch them. Suppose you write a book on any subject, certain things are very basic, you should not touch that. That should definitely be there. That is called as what? Basic structure. That whenever you change a book or whatever, that should definitely be there. So even if you amend the constitution, that integral part should not be amended. That part is called as what? Basic structure. Okay, that is what? Basic structure. I will explain about basic structure when I talk about fundamental rights. When I talk about fundamental rights, I will talk about Keshavananda Bharati case. Through Keshavananda Bharati case, there was evolution of basic structure. Okay, so in Berry case, it said it is not a part. In this, it said it is a part. In which case? Keshavananda Bharati case. Then in LIC of India versus Consumer Education and Research Center case, Supreme Court again held that preamble is an integral part of the constitution. This is not required to remember, just remember LIC case. Okay, in which case it said it is not a part, Berry case. In Keshavananda Bharati case and also LIC case, it said it is a part of the constitution. What? Preamble. Next thing is, please remember preamble is not justifiable. Not justifiable. First of all, you should understand what is justifiable. I told you that fundamental rights, I gave some basics. While talking about basic, I told, suppose my fundamental right is violated or my fundamental right I am not able to enjoy, that time I can say, I said that I can go to Supreme Court and High Court. Okay. But when it comes to DPSP, if that law is not enforced, I cannot go to Supreme Court and High Court, I told you. Correct? No? Can you remember? Fundamental rights, I can go to Supreme Court and High Court. Okay, if it is violated. If DPSPs are not implemented, I cannot go to Supreme Court or High Court. It is the government which has to decide. I cannot decide. That is the meaning of enforceable or justifiable. That means what? Fundamental rights are justifiable. DPSPs are not justifiable. Okay. Similarly, whatever the objectives contained in the preamble, if there is some ambiguity or still it is not being implemented, means you cannot go to the court. That means it is not justifiable. Justifiable means you understood? Okay. If there is violation or if there is any lag or if there is any issue with respect to the objectives of the preamble, you cannot go to the court. It is the government to decide. When it comes to DPSP, there also government will only decide. Only fundamental rights you can go to Supreme Court or High Court, because it is for individuals. It is talking about our rights. So when I talk about enforceable or justifiable, it is nothing but the same. So if I talk about justifiable or also enforceable, fundamental rights, DPSP, and also what is that? Preamble. So fundamental rights, justifiable and enforceable, yes. Fundamental rights, yes. DPSP, no. Preamble, no. Understood? Now till now we learnt the part of amendment of the constitution, that is 3 words were added. What is that? Is what? Socialist, secular and integrity. And also preamble has been amended once, and also we studied whether preamble is part or not. It is a part of the constitution, but in Beriberi case it is said it is not a part, but in Keshavananda Bharati case and also LIC case it said it is a part of the Indian constitution. And before that we learned what is sovereign and also republic. Now let us learn what is socialist, secular, democratic. Okay. Socialist. This was added through, this is the one of the words was added through amendment, that is 42nd amendment of 1976. Okay. So first of all you have to understand that, okay, here I have to tell something about economy also. So when I talk about economy here, suppose some good has to be provided. Good means good, some goods. Some, let me take some product. Okay, some product. This product has to be first, suppose a product, suppose tell any product you want, give an example, pen. Okay, pen is a product. Okay, pen is a product. This pen should be first manufactured, that is means what? It should be, production should happen, correct? No, production, next it should be what? Production means only manufacturing, production, distribution. Before distribution it should be what? It should be transferred, okay, distributed, and also sale. Okay, that means I should produce the pen and I should distribute to various companies, and those companies should sell it or shop should sell it. Okay, if it is under one person, that is one private person who is not the government, that is called capitalist economy. It is under one person or group of persons. That is called what? Capitalist economy. Capitalist economy. For example, US, even in India is also capitalist to some of the extent. For example, you take about Jio, Ambani. He produces the goods, distributes and sells them. He is a capitalist, correct? No. So, but when you talk about coal, okay, coal or steel. Steel, if you talk about Steel Authority of India is there, they will produce the steel and they will distribute and they will sell it. That is what? That is government production, correct? No, that is government production. Petrol, that is also government, that is we don't produce, we bring it from there and we distribute and we sell it and we fix the price, correct? No, that is about production from the government. Here it is some private person who is doing. This is called capitalist economy. But if it is done by production, distribution and sale is done by the government, it is called socialist economy. Socialist economy. Okay. Here, what is the major aim of this capitalist economy? Is profit. They are not worried anything about the people. They are what? They are called mercantilist economy, or also called, they are called profit economy. Okay. If you want to know more about capitalism, if you have free time, that time you can study about Karl Marx. Not required now. So Karl Marx talks very well about capitalist economy. That is capitalist economy, it is mainly profit driven. It is mainly profit driven. Here socialist economy, it is mainly welfare. It is what? Welfare of the people. I should produce in such a way that people should be capable to buy that good. That is the meaning of what? Welfare economy. Clear? That is mainly it is welfare. Now, if you combine this capitalist and socialist economy, we get third, that is what? Mixed economy. Mixed economy. So usually we call US as capitalist economy and India as mixed economy. But no economy is completely capitalist, no economy is completely socialist. We have majority of the economies are mixed economy and majority of them are capitalist. But when it comes to Russia, okay, they are also mixed economy, but they are majorly socialist economy. Even when it comes to China, okay, but now they are also becoming very capitalist. Already they have become very capitalist. Okay, so this is the meaning of it. So Indian economy at that time, suppose why we became socialist means a private company came, that is what East India Company started ruling over us. So again, if we allow private people to start their company and start ruling, start production and distribution, there was a fear that again we will come under the rule of someone. So we wanted that production and everything to come under the government. So that's why we started what? Socialist. Okay, that's why we became socialist. That is the meaning of the word socialism, means placing means of production. That is how production should happen, distribution in the hands of public control. Public control here means state, that is nothing but government. Anything that represents government is state. Okay, socialism also means elimination of inequalities in income and status and standard of living. That means socialism, what is the aim? I told welfare. Welfare means what? There should be no inequality and there should be inequality. There should be no inequality in income and status, and there should be proper standard of living. Everyone should have similar standard of living. Okay, quality of life should be good. That is the main aim of what? Socialism. Okay, in India there is democratic socialism. In India there is democratic socialism, means we elect a government. How we elect a government? Through democracy, correct? No, through elections. That government decides what the government should produce and what the other private people should produce. We have Ambani also, we also have public sector enterprises, PSCs, okay, or public sector undertakings. They are called various companies, they are called Mini Ratna, Maharatna, Navaratna companies. That is based on their grading. Okay, suppose your small company producing some amount of good, that is called Mini Ratna. Next grade is called Navaratna and then Maharatna. Like that, Ratna companies are there. Ratna means the brand that you are giving to them. So that is, they are all what? Public sector undertakings, they are the government units. Okay, so in India we have democratic socialism. If they ask what kind of socialism India has, it is democratic socialism. That means here there is an existence of both public and private sectors. This is called mixed economy. The socialism strives to end in inequality of opportunity. Okay, the main aim of socialism is what? Welfare of the people, and there should be equality. There should be less inequality. There cannot be a situation where there is no inequality at all. Definitely there will be inequality. That should be reduced. That is the meaning of socialism. Okay, that is the meaning of socialism. Got it? So that is the word added through 42nd Amendment. So we learned sovereign, we learned socialist, integrity we still not learned. Sovereign we learned, republic we learned, socialist we learned. Now we have to learn democratic and also what is that we have to learn? Secular, very important. The term secular was added through 42nd Amendment in the year 1976. Okay, so does that mean there was no secularism in India? Of course, there was secularism in India. Okay, even if it was not there, that is, I told you that mobile phone should not be used in classroom. That rule is unwritten rule, that is there. But still if people use, we will write it as it should not be used. Same way secularism was still there in India. But they made it exclusive through this amendment, that is 42nd Amendment in the year 1976. That means in India there is no official religion. But when you compare India to other countries, our neighbor countries, Pakistan official religion is Islam, Muslims. Okay, Sri Lanka official religion is Buddhism. Okay, Buddhism. Okay, like that they have official, this one, languages also. Got it? We also have official language, but that is different from having official religion. In UK official religion is what? Christianity, like that. Like that we don't have any official religion. Although we are Hindu majority country, as we say, but we don't have any official religion. Okay, that's a good thing or not, that is a debatable thing. Okay, that is not, let us not debate about it. Now, this means that state has no official religion. All religion in the country have the same status and support. Okay, while talking about sources of the constitution, I told in France also there is secularism. But in France, secularism in such a way that completely state will be separate and religion will be separate. But in India, secularism in such a way that it will give equal opportunity to every one of them. That means what? If there is any problem, state will interfere and make sure it is correct. Okay, be it minorities or majority or whatever it is. So that is the meaning of what? The state is equidistant from all religion. Secularism means what? Everyone has the right to profess, practice and preach any religion of his choice, or he may not profess any religion. That means I can follow any religion, okay, I can preach about my religion, but I can propagate about my religion, okay, but I should not provoke anyone to follow my religion, okay. Conversion is also totally fine, okay, conversion is also totally fine, but not forced conversion. If I want to convert, I can convert to any religion. If you want to convert, you can convert, but it should not be a forced conversion. Forced conversion is not allowed. I cannot force someone to come and just separate from religion A to religion B, okay, that is not allowed. Same way, when I talk about secularism, secularism also says that I can follow any religion, and also you have the right to follow no religion. I may need not follow any religion. I may say I don't want to go to any religious place, I don't believe in God. That also right I have. That is also secularism. Okay, this we will understand when we talk about Article 25. That is freedom of religion under fundamental rights. That also talks about secularism. So in India, the state or the government is equidistant from other religions. Clear? Now democratic. Okay, democratic. The word demos means people, kratia means rule. That means what? Democratic means rule of the people. Okay, that means what? Rule of the people. Got it? So democracy means rule by the people. You also know that statement, rule of the people, by the people, for the people. Okay, democracy. The people of the country elect their own representatives. That means we elect our own representatives. That means we elect our MLAs, they form the government at the state level. We elect our MPs, they form the government at the national level. Correct? No, that is the meaning of democracy. In India, there is a representative democracy. Representative democracy means we have our representatives, we elect our representatives, they rule our country. That is the meaning of what? Representative democracy. We have our representatives. See, we are only ruling the country. Okay, through whom? Through our representatives. That is nothing but what? Representative democracy. We have our representatives. Suppose we have a Narayanguda here. Here there is a constituency of Narayanguda, everything. There is one person whom we elect. He is our representative. Okay, through our constituency. So that is the meaning of what? Representative democracy. One man, one vote is the concept in democracy. Okay, that means one man means it is women also. Okay, this is what? Paternal tendencies that is showing in the constitution. Okay, gender bias towards man that is showing in the constitution. Okay, so you can see one man or woman also, or otherwise also one man, one vote, and also one value. Okay, one man, one vote, and that vote has one value. Just because some VIP is voting, that doesn't mean that his vote will be having two values. No, every vote has only one value itself. That VIP's vote will not be counted twice. Okay, that has only single value. One man, one vote, one value. Okay, that is the meaning of representative democracy. When I talk about socialism, it is democratic socialism. Democracy, it is representative democracy. Understood? Clear? So we understood what is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Now justice. Okay. Now when I talk about justice, these are the objectives which you have to learn. Justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. JLEF I told you. Justice means what? Justice is harmonizing interest between individuals and between the individuals and groups and the interest of the community. This is not just confined to legal justice. So whenever I talk about justice, we think that we are talking about courts. In courts, what? The judge ensures that justice is served. We have that lady, correct? No, we have that lady. Okay, as of now, that blindfold that is also removed. Okay, that is also removed. Okay, recently, that you should remember. Okay, justice means we will also always think about the courts and also the judges. That is the thing. Justice means that is harmonizing the interest between what? Suppose I and you have some interest. Okay, our interest should be harmonized such a way that we achieve our goal. Okay, I and you have one interest, these two have some other interest. That should be harmonized. So it is between individual and individual, and between groups and groups, and also individuals and groups. Me and you as a group. I am individual, you as a group of students, you have different interests, I have different interests. That is, you want class at 5 o'clock, I want to have class at 2 o'clock. We harmonize and we make sure that the class is taken at 3:30. That is what? It is not unfair to you, it is not unfair to me also. That is the meaning of justice. Okay, justice. Understood? So this is the meaning of justice. That is harmonizing the interest. Harmonizing means some negotiation should happen so that there is compromise between people, so that interest of all society is ensured. Understood? That is the meaning of justice. Now, Social justice implies that all citizens are treated equally irrespective of their status in society as a result of accident of birth, race, caste, religion, sex, title. Okay. Social justice. I told you when I talk about justice, I told you it should be social, economic and political. Social means you talk about in society. Okay. Just because you are born in some caste or just because you belong to some sex or gender or religion or whatever, you should not be discriminated. Okay. Just because you are a woman, you should not be allowed free access to the bus. It should be given to men also. Okay. But that is different thing. That is called positive affirmation. That is called positive affirmation means to benefit the vulnerable section. That is a different thing. Okay. That means just because you are from different religion, just because you are belonging to different caste, you should not be treated unfairly. That means you should not, for example, the Dalits used to face a lot of discrimination. That is, they were facing untouchability. They were asked to stay outside the village. That is the meaning of what? Social injustice. There should be proper justice for them. That is the meaning of social justice. That is, in the society, the justice should be ensured. Then, when they are treated equally, that means what? They will also be allowed to go to school. That time, they will also get opportunities in job. That means what? They will get equal opportunity to earn. That is the meaning of economic justice. So, when social justice is there, when economic justice is there, definitely they can enter into political sphere. They should also be given access to participate in politics. That is the meaning of political justice. For example, the women are given in the panchayats and all, the women should be given at least 33% of seats are reserved for women. Correct? No? That is the meaning of what? Political justice for women. Okay. Similarly, some seats are reserved for SCs and STs. Okay. That is the meaning of what? Political justice. Understood? So, justice means social, economic and political. Economic justice, rich and poor are treated alike. Article 39. Certain principles of polity should be followed by the state. Equal pay for equal work. Okay. Article 38 says that the state should strive to promote welfare of the people. Social justice is very important for the welfare of the people. Economic justice means, suppose someone, you people, we all go to the theatre. Okay, just because some rich person comes, he is given first entry into the theatre and we are not allowed. That is not economic justice. Everyone should be treated equally, and that is also social injustice also. Correct? No? So, equal pay for equal work. Suppose I am doing the same work. Some lady faculty is also doing the same work. Just because she is a lady, she should not be paid less. Okay. So, that is the meaning of equal pay for equal work. That is called economic justice. So, when these two are there, obviously there will be political justice. So, this is about justice. Political justice, every requires priority in the political sphere. All these things are explained. Okay. I told you Article 325 and 326 provide for equal rights to all the adults to participate in the elections. Okay. I told you Article 325 to 326. Article 325, 326. I told 324, that is also there. That is a different thing, but that is also related to elections only. So, 325 talks about what? No person to be ineligible for inclusion or in claim to be included in special electoral rolls on grounds of religion, race, caste or sex. Okay. Suppose you want to vote in some election. Your name should be in that electoral list. Okay. They cannot say that just because you belong to some caste, I cannot include you. They cannot say. Okay. Or they cannot also say, although you are not a person from this state, okay, you go and say that I have this much money, I am this much rich. They should not say, okay, I will include you. They should not say. Okay. Suppose I say that I want to vote in this place, but my voter electoral list is in Karnataka. But I say that I am this faculty, you have to give me vote. They should not include me like that. That is the meaning of there should be no inequality when it comes to political justice. 326, elections to the House of the People and to the legislature on the basis of adult franchise. That is, what are the elections we take place? We take place in state elections to elect the MLAs for legislature, and also MP elections, that is House of the People, Lok Sabha. That is based on what? Universal adult suffrage or adult franchise. That is, every adult 18 and above can go and vote. Okay, that is the meaning of it. So, Article 325 and 326 I explained. Okay, that is, this is talking about what? Political justice. Clear? So, we have done elaborately about political justice. Clear to all of you? Fine. Okay. Liberty, equality and fraternity will be done in the next class, don't worry. But before that, we will do some questions and we will wind up the class. Okay. Liberty, equality and fraternity should be done. Okay. Okay, let us try to finish it now itself. Why to worry? Liberty. Okay. Liberty of thought, expression, belief and faith and worship. Liberty means I have the right to believe worship or to express my feelings or express my opinions about anything. That is the meaning of liberty. Okay. So, Article 19 guarantees the freedom of speech and expression. Okay. Article 19 talks about what? Right to speech and expression. Article 19. Similarly, Article 25 to 28 talks about right to religion. That is, what kind of religion I can follow or not follow. Okay. How to run educational institutions. All these things are spoken in Article 25 to 28. Right to religion of the Constitution, freedom of religion, including belief, faith and worship. All fundamental rights are granted with reasonable restrictions. That means, of course, I have liberty to express my opinions or anything, but there are reasonable restrictions. Restriction means there are some limitations, but they are not some random limitations. They have some reason. That is the meaning of reasonable restrictions. Why? Just because I want to express something, I should not express something. In suppose I express something in such a way that hurts the sentiments of other religion. What they will do? They will come and fight. That will create what? Public disorder. So that's why, although I have the right to express something, I should follow certain conditions. That is the meaning of what? Reasonable restrictions. Reasonable restrictions. Although I have liberty, it is not absolute liberty. There is reasonable restrictions to everything. Okay, every fundamental right has reasonable restriction. Understood liberty? Okay. Next thing is equality. All citizens are equal before law and enjoy equal protection of the law of the land. That is, if the law is there, and for this law, everyone are equal. And under this law, you all enjoy equal protection. Just because this law is there, you will not enjoy more protection, you will not enjoy less protection. You will enjoy equal protection. Okay, you all are equal and the law is applicable equally. That is the meaning of it. This, you are equal under the law, and this law, for example, this law is providing some radiation to you. It is providing equal radiation to each of you. That is the meaning of equal protection under the law. Clear? That is the meaning of equal protection of the law. Equality before law was borrowed from UK, I told you. Equal protection of the law was borrowed from USA, I told you. Equality before law, I told you, while talking about sources, was borrowed from UK. Equal protection of the law borrowed from USA. There can be no discrimination between one person and another on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth in matters of access to public places and public employment. That is the meaning of it. That is equality, right to equality it is talking about. Article 14 to 18 in fundamental rights talks about right to equality. There we will understand even more elaborately. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 talks about right to equality. That means there should be no discrimination. Be it employment, public employment, I am talking about public employment, not private. Be it public employment and also public places like temples, mosques, churches, bus stands, whatever it is. There should be proper access. That means everyone should be allowed to enter there. So that is the meaning of equality. All citizens enjoy equal political rights. Article 14 to 18 of the Indian Constitution talks about right to equality. So here I am talking about equality. In the next class I will be talking about what is equity. Okay, equality is different, equity is completely different. Okay, what we need is not equality, we need equity. That is more important. Okay, justice, liberty, equality. Now it is fraternity. Means promoting universal brotherhood among all citizens. Single citizenship is directed towards promoting fraternity. That is the meaning. That is the meaning of what? Universal brotherhood. You are all from Telangana, I am not from your state. That doesn't mean that you should discriminate me. Because we are all having single citizenship. That bond is what? We are all Indians. Correct? No? That is the meaning of having fraternity. Okay, that is the meaning of having fraternity. Just because that person is from different district, you are from different district, or from different religion, you should not discriminate. Single citizenship is to bind people as Indians. Okay, although we have so many differences, suppose a match is happening, cricket match or whatever, we all support India. That is what? That is nothing but fraternity. Understood? So the fundamental rights that are guaranteed also promote fraternity. The DPSPs also promote fraternity. The preamble also promotes fraternity. What are all the things that promote fraternity? The fundamental rights, DPSP, preamble, even fundamental duties. All these things promote fraternity. Fraternity means binding us together as what? Single citizens, that is Indians. This is the meaning of fraternity. The unity and integrity of the nation is not possible through is possible through dignity of the individual. That is, suppose your dignity or your self-respect is honored, that means what? You will feel that you are included in the society. That time what happens? There will be unity and also integrity of the country. Okay, they are respecting me, so I have to do something for these people. That is the meaning of unity and integrity of the nation. You feel that oneness and belongingness. That is, you are all Indians. We are all Indians. That is the meaning of fraternity. Now, Article 51A, fundamental duties makes it duty of every citizen to uphold and protect sovereignty, unity and integrity of India and promote harmony and brotherhood. When I talk about fundamental duties, I will tell you about this. Fundamental rights, then DPSP, then fundamental duties. So these are all the things that promote fraternity. Even preamble promotes fraternity. Understood? Fraternity means binding together. Okay, justice we studied about what? Harmonizing the interest. Clear? So we studied justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. Liberty means expressing oneself, but there are reasonable restrictions. Now let us see some questions. What is referred to as the identity card of the Indian Constitution? Identity card means our Aadhaar card, like just like Aadhaar card. What is that? Preamble is the authority or identity card of the Indian Constitution. Okay. Next, which constituent amendment added the word socialist, secular and integrity to the preamble? 42nd. Correct? No? 42nd amendment. Next thing, where does Indian Constitution derive its authority according to the preamble?
The people of India.
Is it President, Supreme Court, People of India, Parliament? It is People of India.
President
People of India. Okay, that's why the options are given like this to confuse you. Okay, where does the Indian Constitution derive its authority? According to the preamble, it is People of India. Okay, don't you get confused, it is people. Next is, which year objective resolution was adopted? 1947, 22nd January 1947. Okay, it was adopted. Which case confirmed that preamble is a part of the Constitution? Bharati case and also LIC case. Beriberi case, it said it is not a part. Okay. What kind of socialism does Indian Constitution promote? What kind of socialism? Democratic socialism. What kind of democracy? Representative democracy. This is 2013 UPSC question. Economic justice as one of the objectives of the Indian Constitution has been provided in. Economic justice is provided in fundamental preamble. Yes, it is there, economic justice. Fundamental rights is talk about political justice. Okay, fundamental rights and DPSP. Fundamental rights, it is political justice. DPSP, economic justice. Okay, preamble and DPSP is the correct answer. Okay, fundamental rights talk about political justice. Preamble and DPSP talk about both economic justice also and also social justice also. Fundamental rights also talks about it, but mainly it is focusing on political justice. So the answer to this question is preamble and DPSP. Got it? I think that's it. All right. So we have done with preamble. I hope it is clear to all of you. So today immediately I'll share the notes to madam or to any one of you. You can share it to others. All right. So please keep revising. Next week, any one of the day, we'll have test on the topics that we have done. Okay. So again, I am repeating the JL DL batch is starting, new batch is starting from 1st August, and also for PGT, the batch is starting from 1st August. So do enroll and start preparing with more confidence and clarity. Thank you. I'll wind up now. Take care.